Hello everyone, my name is Kevin, and guess what today I'm talking about? Chemistry? Nope, that's way too boring. I made too many videos about that. Physics? No. Yeah, just like that. And biology? You're correct. And what animal are we thinking of today? No, not the body parts. So today we're talking about whales. First, let's have our first question. What are whales? Whales are the biggest creature on the planet. They are animals. They produce milk to feed their young, and they are also related to hippopotamuses. And it belongs to the infraorder Cetacea. This is Latin, but it also means whales. Easy game. Hey. And where does the word Cetacea come from? So first, there is an ancient Greek monster named Cetes. So that's where the name Cete comes from. And Cete means whale, and the word Cetacea comes from here. Now let's talk about the body parts. Just like any animal, but there are two types of there are two types of whales. They are odontocetes and mysticetes. First, let's see what odontocete means. It means toothed whale, and mysticete means baleen whale. Toothed whales don't have baleen, but they don't chew with their teeth. Well, because they mostly eat squid, but also even sharks, like orcas then. And don't you know, if they don't chew, then you know they just swallow it whole. And can you believe that orcas could even swallow a great white shark? So the teeth is usually for tearing. They have a really sharp looking mouth, a really sharp eye for looking prey, and they have a very big dorsal fin. They also have flip bars. And also, at the end, they have tail flukes, which is usually different from other fish. Fish tails only have one fluke, but whale tails have two. And how about mysticetes? Instead of tooth, they use baleen. Do you know how this system works? Okay, so now, some whales will dig up zooplankton and krill from the ground, from the sand, or up in the ocean. So they just swallow water and all of them, just like that. And after that, they close their baleen so the water gets out when it pushes its kind of like tongue. But still, the krill and zooplankton are stuck on its baleen. And finally, it uses its tongue to shake in all of the krill and the zooplankton they got and gulp. That's all you have. And just like in any kind of whale, they have a blowhole and flippers and the basic things like that. And how about the inside? Well, bodies are oftenly put into two groups. The two most common groups, the respiratory system and the digestive system, which is breathing and eating. Well, we have two nasal cavities. If you watch the video, the respiratory and circulatory system. Humans have two nasal cavities. So when we eat, then we won't stop breathing. And we will only stop a little bit when we gulp it down. But whales only have one nasal cavity, and that's their blowhole. And they can never ever breathe with their mouth. Well, first, for example, here's a whale, although it's a little bit ugly, okay? So up on the top of it is a blowhole. When we go down, it goes a little bit kind of like go to the back of it, and then at the back we have here the lungs and the larynx. So air comes in the blowhole through the trachea and finally to the lungs. And how about the digestive system? Well, there are three main parts of every animal's digestive system: the esophagus, the stomach, and the intestines. Well, we humans have two types of intestines, but whales only have one type of intestine, and they have three types of stomachs. What the heck? How could a whale have three stomachs? So first, let me tell you. Just said that food comes in through the mouth and the esophagus. Then it comes in the forest stomach, which is the first stomach. Then it goes up to the main stomach and finally down to the pyloric stomach. And after that, it twirls a little bit and finally goes to the intestines. And do you know that whales are too endangered? Well, there are so many reasons why whales are endangered that I just finished 1 out of 4 space of this page. Oh my goodness. First, people catch whales for their oil, blubber, flesh, and bones. 4 main things. At first, oil becomes industrial, just like as the Industrial Revolution. So they have a record of killing up to 300,000 whales for the whale oil.
No.
Oh my goodness. That's per year. Although orcas do harm humans, but that's only 2 or 3 people per year. That's normally a bit unfair, right? Then comes pollution. Nowadays, people pollute the ocean by factories and nuclear, and also trash too. Noise from the outside world, when cars driving, helicopters flying over, and people chit-chatting, and also the sonars that vessels and submarines give out. That's for echolocation. They sometimes make whales deaf.
Wow.
And that's because the noise is too much for them to handle. And like sonar too. Sonar scares off them, and often because they are big, vessels and submarines use super high frequency sonar. And that's why they can have hearing loss.
Oh.
Before, people use gill nets, which is a special type of net to catch fish by the gills. But once a whale comes into that, you've guessed it, they can never ever get up to breathe again. Because it's stuck just like how the gills of fish stuck to the net. Some river dolphins are known to be extinct due to pollution. Yeah, I know one by reading a science comic book, and that type is really rare, and after polluting, it's gone, and no anyone had ever found them again. Oh my goodness. And do you know that whales actually sleep up on the surface of the water? This could be a really big problem because they can't ever go down the sea to sleep. And if they float on the surface, then vessels might crash into them. And they need to, because when they sleep, they can't ever go up to breathe again because they're still sleeping. So they sleep on the surface of the water, and that's how they get. Protecting whales are critical to save the species from dying out and extinct. And one way of that, so for example, people put lots of poisonous chemicals into the ocean. Then algae eats them and turns into toxic algae. After that, small fish eats them. And finally, baleen whales eat them. And the small fish gets eaten by big fish, and big fish gets eaten by bigger fish, or sharks, which are eaten by orcas. And that's make them contaminated too. And that's why orcas are one of the most contaminated marine creatures in the world. So, how do you think to save them? You need to stop pollution and follow the 3 R's: reduce, recycle, and reuse. They also need to stop overfishing and stop hunting whales just for their oil, bones, or flesh. And they also need to reduce noise pollution too, and reduce using sonar, and if they still have to use that, then use one that's low frequency. That's the things that whales can get rid of. So after this video, do you think it's interesting and sad? If you do, then please click subscribe and like for this video, and visit our channel to see any more new videos. See you!